Well, Game of Thrones just happened last night, and the world is pissed. Like, they're signing petitions or whatever the hell ever you pronounce that. They're quite mad. Not a lot of people are satisfied with the ending. We're gonna have to talk about Game of Thrones and really break it down as to you got what you wanted in the long run, and you can't whine and complain because the series came to an end and it wasn't the happy ending you wanted. So if you have not seen the season finale of Game of Thrones, season 8, I recommend you wait until you've seen the finale and then come back and we'll discuss it then. So major spoilers ahead, and let's get it going on. The whole episode was, a lot of people complained it was slow. Kind of simple-minded people complained it's slow. In my opinion, there was a lot to be said. There was moments of fear. When Tyrion rebelled against Dany, was she going to kill him right then? No, she didn't. She actually imprisoned him, which was kind of surprising considering she just destroyed an entire city. Her hands were still covered in ash and blood, so to speak. That was a hell of an episode. I'm a bit more evil-hearted. I'm kind of the Deadpool, really, of the way I see things. I mean, I'm neither good nor bad. I have moments where, yeah, you got to do the right thing, and you got to save innocent people. But if innocents get killed in the long run, and it is what it is, that's life. Life is pain. And it's sorrow, and we learn to wear it as armor, a lot like Tyrion has told us in our lifetime. And a little bit of information and a little bit of good things that we've learned from Tyrion. He's honestly my second favorite character. Daenerys Targaryen was my first. I'm still House Targaryen. The Targaryens themselves, they're amazing house. They really are. They bond with dragons. They're the ones that raise them, that hatch them, that fly them, that bond with them. They have a mental connection. And I will explain that in a minute. It was kind of a question for me. Was there really a mental connection between dragons and their riders? And I figured it out that there was. Like, it took the last episode for me to really put those two things together and was like, okay, yeah. Now, I've never read the books. I got halfway through the first book. It's a lot like play-by-play. If you've never read the books, now you're probably going to, because there's 2 more still remaining. Martin is writing them. So our Game of Thrones TV is not the Game of Thrones of the books. And the character arcs, and there's so many more characters, just like Catelyn Stark, was brought back to life as Lady Stoneheart. And she couldn't speak because when the Freys cut her throat, it was down to the bone. So she was dead for a while. And when she was brought back to life by the Lord of Light, it killed the priest that could do that. And she became Lady Stoneheart and became the one, pretty much the angel of death to the Freys. It wasn't Arya. So there's a lot of things from the books that have been beyond watered down, if not removed from the series. So what we need to do is we need to kind of pinky promise right now that we are going to read these books. If not, just pop the audio books in and just listen to them and learn a bit more, because these spinoffs are coming now. I'll tell you a little bit more about the first spinoff and what we have to expect. I've done a little research this morning of what we will have and what we will expect from this. But let's finish about the episode, the finale. Tyrion finding Cersei and Jaime. That was kind of a sad moment, seeing them wrapped up in each other's arms. But did they deserve what they got? Absolutely. If I was Tyrion, if I was the imp, I would have kicked her in the face a few times. She tried to kill him again and again. She despised him. She hated him. She kept him hated by her children. She kept him hated by the people. I mean, Cersei was really callous and cold, even to Jaime. So for her to start boo-hooing and crying, I don't want to die, in the end as he's wrapping his arms around her, it's okay, it's just us, it's only going to ever be us. Yeah, I'm still unsatisfied by that death. I wanted to see them twitching, like under the rocks, bleeding out. And it didn't even look like either one of them got head trauma. in the rocks. Like, they should have been mangled a bit more, to be honest. But was it heartbreaking to see that Tyrion lost his family? That even though after everything they did to that man, he still cried tears for them? Unnecessary fucking tears. That he is the last man standing when it comes to the Lannisters. That's just fucking... That was a bit much. I get why he snapped. He went straight to Dany and was like, take this fucking, handed the king little fucking medal right here and you shove it up your ass. That's exactly what he did. You freed your brother. Well, you murdered a fucking city. And Dany realized that Tyrion has never bitten his tongue around her. He has been nothing but honest. And that moment of honesty shook her. She wanted to really smite his ass right there on the spot. But instead, she didn't smite him. She sent him to be imprisoned in his own fucking room, hand to the king, which I thought was kind of funny. If you paid attention, that room that Tyrion was in was the same room that him and his lover shared. That was the same room that he was hand to the king in when he was there at the keep. Before Joffrey and all that other shit happened. So, it kind of, this episode took a full circle to the entire series. There's a lot of things that kind of left me questionable. But I did think personally, and me being House Targaryen, because I love the Targaryens, I really do. I love their stories of being conquerors. Blood and fire. The bonding with dragons. They cannot be burned by fire. They're magical in a lot of ways. Hair of silver. Eyes of lavender. There's a lot of things in the books that pertain them to be a magical house. And you don't see the Tyrells spawning dragons, do you? No, you don't see that. Alana. So, are you a sheep or are you a dragon? Dany said she was a dragon. She stopped paying attention to the advice of men. She stopped listening to Varys. She stopped listening to Tyrion. She damn sure wasn't going to listen to Jon. She really followed the advice that Elena gave her. And it backfired in the end. Had that woman still been alive, things probably would have been a bit different if she would have been on the council. Because Dany needed a mother in a lot of ways, and the only mother figure that ever stood up and looked her in her eye and told her what needed to be said was Alana. Let all of Westeros know it was me. I set the dragon on them. As the truth is, that's what it is. We got what we wanted, but it wasn't what we had expected it to be. So Tyrion defied her, got locked up. Jon needed some slapping, some sense. He really did. He tried to even defend her for what she did. There was no defending her actions. It was never going to be a defense of her actions. Even I tried to defend her actions. I understood it. I did. I understood it. Being a woman, we get hormonal. You know, you piss us off. You hurt us. You hurt our children. You hurt our family. And burn your fucking house down. Perhaps every house you've ever set foot in will burn it down too. Like candles. Remember that? I said that in the last vlog. We're like candles, us women. You leave us burning and we'll burn your fucking house down. We're pretty. We smell good. You know, we'll make you smile. But the moment you leave us unattended, possible destruction, guys. So my favorite scene of that entire finale was Dany and Jon and her trying to convince him to be her king. And Jon pretty much just trying to convince her to fucking stop. To be queen of the rubble. Rebuild the keep. You've taken King's Landing. You've taken all of Westeros. You don't have to keep going. But she chose to keep going. She was going to keep fighting. And it could have caused a whole lot more death. Unnecessary war. And that's what Jon's seen. It was unnecessary war at this time. So the end of Daenerys was Jon crying and getting a little too close to her. And he stuck her ass. He stuck her ass. Now, did you notice when she rolled back in his arms, oh, I'm dead, you know, it focused in on her eyes. And if you pay attention, her pupils dilated as her death occurs. And that, to me, HBO, if I had a fucking hat on right now, I'd be taking it off. If this was a wig, I'd take it off for you too. Holy shit. That was a fucking epic death scene. Y'all did good. Was it the death we wanted? If Dany had to die, I'd honestly say in the arms of Jon. That's the fucking way to go, man. It's the way to go. Fuck you if you don't like it. It is what it is. It's my opinion. Could the writing have been better? Could they have made a better fucking story for her? Could they have done so much better? Oh, yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely. But you know what? They didn't. It's the ending we got. We can't be satisfied with it because it's the ending. It's not the one we wanted. But technically it is when you really seriously look at it. It's the ending we wanted. Gold for Brienne of Tarth. She is now a full-fledged knight of the Kingsguard. She's wearing gold. She finished Jaime's story in the Book of Knights. This was for Brienne. When I went looking through my makeup case, I was like, you know what? Gold. It is true. Because hands of gold are always cold, but a woman's hands are warm. And Brienne, she deserves to be where she is. Tyrion as Bronn's hand deserves to be where he is. Bronn of the Blackwater, Master of Highgarden and Master of Coins. Damn it, that was good seeing him at the table, wasn't it? I was like, hell yeah. Davos at the table. Everybody's got a spot where they should be, but poor Jon. Now, the reason why I said you could tell dragons are bonded to their riders and why they feel they cannot ever harm a Targaryen is because Drogon did not once hurt Jon. He let him know, I know you killed my rider. I know you killed my mother. In anger, he turned and looked at the throne and was like, is this why you killed my mother? Well, there's no more Iron fucking Throne now, is there? Because Drogon took it out. Picked her up in his little chicken claw and flew off. The reason why I said chicken claw is because if you did not know, the dragons were based on, and their movements were based on chickens. A lot of people don't know I live in Jacksonville, Florida. We have a county 2 states over called Yulee. And in Yulee, we have a bunch of exotic animals there. And Game of Thrones filmed all the sounds for the dragons in Yulee, 2 states over at the exotic animal farm. So I didn't talk about that. I'm not really bragging about it, but I think it's kind of neat how full circle Game of Thrones goes all the way around the world, from Ireland to 2 counties over in Florida to get sounds for dragons. So the moment Dany died and she took her last breath, if you paid attention, if you seriously paid attention, Drogon was right there on it. He instantly knew something was not right. And he approached his mother, understanding that her bond had been broken to him. Now, who knows? I was flipping out last night in the episode. I'm like, pet that dragon. Dany is dead. Jon, you need to calm him down, because if you don't touch him, you don't bond him, he's going to fly off. He's going to murder you. He's going to murder a bunch of other people. There's no telling what's going to happen. And when he raised up to shoot fire and missed Jon, that's why. They cannot hurt a Targaryen. They are bonded to them. And that kind of settled a lot for me in my mind. How was it that they knew where to fly, how to fly, when to shoot fire? You really think that dragon can hear her screaming Jacaerys from the top of it? No, I don't think so. That's why they're mentally bonded, and that made so much sense when she took her last breath. Drogon came to find his dead mother, and he left Jon alive because Targaryens cannot be wounded. That's the only reason why Jon was allowed into the throne room to begin with, when Drogon lifted up out of the ashes to sniff at Jon. Your blood type smells familiar. I'll let you by. He wasn't happy about it, but that's what happened. Did it end the way we wanted it? Jon getting the shit end of the stick, having to go back to the wall. Sansa becoming Queen of the North. Bronn the Broken as our new king. Yeah. I'd have been quite happy with Dany and Jon ruling, maybe her having children, maybe this, maybe that, what if, but you know what? My uncle told me some really good advice one time. He told me, If my Aunt Susie had a dick, she'd be my Uncle Bob. What ifs don't rule this world, guys. They don't. We could sit here and what if all day long. What if, what if, what if, what if. But what about Aunt Susie? What if she had a dick? And she wouldn't be Aunt Susie, would she? She'd be Uncle Bob. So we could what if all day long. And in the end, it's going to be the same result. John goes to the wall. He goes back to Ghost. He goes back to Tormund. They're on the north end of the wall. They're gone. They're not even on the wall. They're not at Castle Black. Arya, they left that storyline open. Maybe we'll find out what's to the west of Westeros. Maybe she'll fill in a map. Maybe one day we'll have a spin-off for the Adventures of Maisie. Wouldn't that be awesome? I don't think we're going to get that, though. The ending wasn't satisfying, but it was the end. And the reason why it feels so unsatisfactory, guys, is because we didn't want it to end. Regardless of the ending, we would have been pissed, unsatisfied. No matter the ending. It's like sexual frustration. There's only one way to get it the way we want it. And that's to do it your damn self. Well, you know what? We're not script writers. We're not directors. So you know what? If I had some salt right now and a drink, I'd take a grain. Because we're going to have to eat it with a grain of salt. We're going to have to drink it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. So that's the finale. That's my opinion on it. We have 3 spinoffs they're talking about in the works. I just found out today that the first spinoff will be out in spring of next year. We have a little while to wait. Now, if the basis and the writers are being honest, it's about the Long Night. So we're going to find out about the White Walkers. We're going to find out about the First Men. We're going to find out about the children. We're going to find out about a lot of things that are going to help build up a bit more on the White Walkers and the Night King that we kind of got shitted on at the Battle of Winterfell. I still say that episode was so fucking dark. I needed binoculars to figure out what the hell was going on. Against my TV. Like, what the fuck is going on? Somebody had their brightness all the way at like 100 and talking about, I could see it fine. Yeah, your fucking settings on your TV were way up. I don't need a fucking effects engineer to tell me how to put the settings on my TV. Your shit was dark. But the truth is the episode was supposed to be that way. It was supposed to be a song of fire and ice. Ice is pretty reflective at night, really, when you think about it. The snow, right? A night battle. Yeah, I was just really glad to see that the last episode before the finale was during the day, where we got to see everyone turn to ash by daylight. Wasn't that beautiful? So this first spinoff is coming. We do have some time. That is on the way. I have to say my favorite deal of the entire episode of last night was Tyrion having one quote that he said to Jon. And he said, "Oblivion is the best I can hope for. When we die, is there something else?" He was talking to the right man. And he said, "Oblivion is the best I can hope for." That's a beautiful quote, don't you think? I'm going to miss Tyrion. I cried last night when it was over. I did. I'm not going to do it right now. It's over. We're done, guys. 20 minutes of me telling you that it is over. You can't bitch, you can't complain. They're not going to remake it. My phone's ringing. It is what it is. It's not gonna end itself. I can really give a shit about that phone ringing. I'm sitting here sweating too. Florida's hot. So we're gonna end this, guys. We're gonna let Game of Thrones go. There will be more vlogs. I'm going to be talking about The Walking Dead. I'm going to be talking about Fear the Walking Dead. I'm going to be talking about Supernatural. I'm going to be talking about a whole lot of different movies, reviews. I might even tell you about dying and being in a coma. What that's like. I've had that experience. I've had a lot of experiences in my life that I think I could talk to you guys about and you would find entertaining. Really entertaining. At least that's what I hope. So with that being said, I'm going to answer that damn phone because it ain't finna stop ringing. And we're going to let this go. Let it go, guys. Go Elsa. Let it go. It's over. I love y'all. And we'll talk more about other things later. If you enjoyed today's video, please click down that little subscribe. That little button down there in the corner. Subscribe it! Get me going. Let's go. Let's talk about some shit. Tell me what you would like to talk about. Comment. Criticize. I don't give a damn. Yeah, I'm quite literally. I don't care. Unpopular opinion. Remember my first vlog. I'm going to have an unpopular opinion. I don't give a damn if you respect it or not. I'll respect yours. So I really don't care if you respect mine. Sorry about the phone ringing. I should have took that in the other room before we got talking about this. I didn't think I'd be talking to y'all for 20 minutes. So, needless to say, we're going to let it go. I'm going Elsa. And I'll see you next time.